दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत.
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Express Nayagati Station, Netaji Bhavan.
Welcome back to Voltas presents Cricbuzz Live. Mumbai is chipping away those wickets, waiting to go past that finish line. But like I told you all in the afternoon, it's a sizzling Sunday. So next up on the menu is RCB taking on Delhi. And RCB have won the toss. They've decided to bowl first. I'm back with the band members, Murali Kartik and Shaun Pollock. It's going to be a really noisy stadium, because Virat Kohli goes back and plays at Delhi. He is the local boy. There's going to be Delhi cheering for Delhi and then Delhi cheering for Virat. The separate crowd, the separate fan base. But good toss to win?
I suppose so, because when you think of Delhi and the fact that it's one of the smallest grounds and also a very high-scoring ground, teams do want to know what they're chasing, and anything is possible on that ground. Even if you have to chase on 8-9 runs and over, it's done very easily, or in fact even more sometimes. So I suppose it's a good toss to win. Anyways, RCB have been winning away games, so they'll feel completely buoyed by what they did back at home. Project Chinnaswamy was finally cracked by them in a good game. And look, they've come off the auction table. We've been talking about how good they've been. They've got a bowling lineup finally, especially the three seamers. Although the spinners might not be the names that you're looking for, but they do quite an effective job. So an overall package, I think they've been pretty good this season.
Polish, there was Graham Swan and Aaron Finch at the toss, and they said it is not a very Delhi wicket. It's very, very dry, and we shouldn't be expecting the runs to be flowing a lot. So do we trust this when we are thinking of a prediction? And before we get to that, let's clap for Polly Kaka. Well done. Well done.
Finally off the block.
The mark.
A little less from you.
It's that chair. Don't you like
yes,
that side?
Yes, it's the chair. It's the chair. We were discussing it last night. Delhi for about 15 years or 14 years was not the greatest ground to play on. It was like kind of stayed low and skiddy, and you couldn't get those massive scores. Then in the last two years, it's been like 200s and big scores. So, yeah, this season hasn't really offered up any of those. I mean, I don't know if they've posted anything in excess of 200. And so it's interesting that that's the surface. But there's still those short boundaries. So even if it is a pitch where it's holding a little bit, you just think that you can just back yourself straight down the ground and pick up a boundary. So it'll be interesting to see how that wicket plays. But thanks for the knowledge. I'll keep it in the memory bank when I come to my predictions.
All right, then let's have a look at the playing 11s. Let's have a look at Delhi. They will be batting first.
Look who's back. Back again. Faf du Plessis, there he is.
Look at that smile on Shaun Pollock's face. It's just lots of South Africans today. We're discussing so many South Africans, but Kartik, they'll be really happy to have him up top, because we know what he brings to the side. We know the energy he comes with, and well, he's playing against RCB, so we can expect some fireworks.
No, I don't think you'll get any fireworks, because he's such a nice guy, somebody who's such an affable character. He is well liked in the circuit. And again, he's a hardworking man. When you look at him, he's still stacked. But he's 42, still keeping himself in fine nick. And the most important thing is that he's got a very wise head on his shoulders. So he's always going to be a good leader, a good understudy as well, because he's got the ears of everyone. He's an experienced campaigner, so everybody looks up to him, listens to him. So it's always a good man to have in the playing 11 as a batter, and also as somebody who's a wise head.
The other thing, I'm saying he's spent so much time with the RCB opening the batting with Virat. If Virat gets going, I mean, you think of the detail that you share when you're batting together. You're like, say, okay, I don't fancy this guy, or this is this, I'm going to try this or try that. Yeah, the deep secrets. So he's got those now too. So that's got to be an advantage for him. I'm sure Axar will be...
the other person as well, and Virat as well, if Faf gets
100%,
going.
Yeah, and I'm sure Axar will be in his ear and saying, hey, what do you think? So I think that will be an advantage for him or for the team.
And also what we have noticed when we commentate at the grounds is I think he's got the freedom and the leeway to move fielders if he sees something. So he's not waiting or letting Axar know that I'm making this change. So there are times when he's seen something and made the changes.
We'll just have a look at that playing 11 again. Polly, I want to understand who will open bat with Faf. Do you see KL Rahul coming up top? Is going to be Abhishek Purell?
No, I don't think Rahul will go up front. I think, Naya, because he's fit again, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think he'll probably go with Faf. They'll try and strike up that relationship at the top. They need more from the bottom, from the
I think
middle.
even Abhishek can go if they want the left-right combination because Abhishek is also open for them. So that's not a problem.
But I'm not too concerned about the top. The top is like Rahul has had to shoulder too much responsibility for me. I think it's time for Stubbs and those guys to...
No, but Stubbs has done, Polly, this year.
He's got a few scores, but nothing like massive. There's been a few good 30s that he's struck. But I hope he gets a bit more of a go today and delivers.
We'll have a look at Delhi's impact quickly. They will be batting first. So we'll have a look at who will come in with the ball. We should expect Mohit Sharma to come in with the ball?
I think so, because if there's no need for Ashutosh, because they've used Ashutosh as well.
Yes.
In that capacity. It's only if they're in the doldrums that Ashutosh is going to be called upon. But otherwise, if they go fine, if they go swimmingly well with their batting, I think it'll be Mohit Sharma who will be called upon then.
Okay, let's have a look at RCB's playing 11 quickly. There's someone who has fever, that's Phil Salt, which is why he will not be playing today, and Jacob Bethel will be in. Again, that combination of Virat and Salt is what has given RCB so much success, Polly. So a new opening combination up top is not something ideally that RCB would have liked.
It's not, but I actually think it plays into their thinking, because I would think they were considering bringing Jacob Bethel in anyway. I think they were quite interested in maybe in place of Romario Shepherd. So now this gives them an outing where, because of a sickness, he gets a chance at the top of the order and they can see how he goes. I actually also looked at some stats the other day of the Salt and Kohli relationship. It's very, very similar to what Faf and Kohli put on together. Because obviously they swapped and they got Salt in, and I was wondering if it had been a good decision from a facts and figures perspective. There we have a look at it. So in 2024, 9 at this stage, where we are now, 9 innings, 264 runs at an average of 29 to 250s, highest score 62, and then same thing for Salt, 9 matches, 239, averaging just a touch less, strike rate just a touch more, also 250s and a highest of 65. So they've kind of got it right, because the fact that they didn't decide to go the Faf route and they went for Salt, it hasn't cost them anything. It's probably like for like. And that's why I think also Faf might be a little bit more determined today to just say, hey, I'm going to make a score and make you guys think, hey, you should have kept me.
But the DC bowlers, Kartik, will be smiling because there's no Salt up top and we know how destructive he's been. So DC bowlers will be going in with that little bit of extra confidence in today.
I suppose so. When you also look at what their bowling group has done, they've been pretty fine. I think they've got quality spinners, Axar and Kuldeep. Kuldeep has been one of the best bowlers in the tournament so far. Mid-Stark has done well. Mid-Stark, especially at the fag end or the back end of the innings, has done well. Vipraj Nigam has also bowled reasonably well for somebody in his rookie season. He's been thrown into the deep end. So he's bowled well. Mohit Sharma again comes into play at the back end and also sometimes in the middle. So I don't think they are going to be worried about too many things. They've got their plans in place. Yes, they would want Akshar Patel to get some more wickets. He's been economical without getting wickets. And sometimes it's a tough one to figure out, because I've always been of this belief, if you're economical, you're doing a great job for the side, especially in T20 cricket where you're bowling staggered overs, and when people say we're bowling to get wickets, I always wonder why, because we don't have any attacking fielders, we don't have any time to work a batter out, we're always trying to minimize damage, and in that process either you get a wicket or someone else gets a wicket. So especially the way the modern day game is going. So I wouldn't be too worried if I was Akshar Patel and not getting a wicket. Yes, I want to come in. So I actually like the way they've gone about it. They've been pretty good. They've found different men who have put up their hand to play those mini roles. Ashutosh has been pretty good. We saw Vipraj doing that. Tristan Stubbs has also come in with the handy contributions. Karun Nair came and revelled in the very first game. KL Rahul has been their mainstay. So yeah, they're looking good, and I don't think they're going to be worried too much about who's up against them, because there's a very nice confidence brewing within the side.
Yeah, Akshar is a bit of a surprise. I actually picked him to be my MVP because captaining the side. He's made he's made good contributions with the bats over the years. They often promote him up the order. He comes on and bowls at difficult times, so he often picks up wickets. But I've just been surprised. I mean, I think, as you say, he's done a good economical job. His captaincy's been good. But 1 wicket in 23 overs, that ain't going to win me my MVP prize. So.
Your predictions?
I think fortunes are going to change.
Yeah,
now
they're going to change. Now I'm in the right chair.
So things are going to change.
No, I actually, you look at those cold numbers and you'll see those red numbers. But as long as somebody is under 8 in the modern day game, and if someone else is picking up a wicket, you're still doing a job, your team's winning.
Probably putting the pressure and other bowlers getting those wickets. So as long as that works. I want to quickly have a look at the points table and see what stands for both these teams. There are 2 and 3. So Kartik, both of them want these 2 points. It's just that they want to go up ahead in that race and they want to do it quickly, get to that 14. And you know that 16 is that safe number. So both these teams want to go up to 16. Delhi, of course, have that advantage. They've played just
1 game less.
Yes.
But what we would say is that Mumbai are above both of them now. Mumbai will be going to 12 points as it stands, and their net run rate will be going through the roof. I'm sure they've wrapped it up by now. So they're now all of a sudden just sliding down a touch. But it is advantage Delhi because of the fact that they played that 1 less game. So if they now win, well, then the pound seats, because they've got the extra game plus the 2 points. So it's massive for them.
Well, the advantage Delhi is what Polly says, and the advantage that Delhi have reached this position is because of what KL Rahul's done. It's just been magnificent the way he's played. You know, you've probably spent time with him, you know him personally. He just seems so relaxed in this Delhi, you know, setup. He's smiling. We're seeing this version of KL Rahul which we haven't seen before, you know, joking around with Kevin Peterson and giving those salvaged replies. And he's also speaking with the bat. He's hitting the big shots. He's enjoying hitting those 6s and 4s and not just anchoring the innings.
Yeah, you can say that, absolutely. Again, nobody ever questioned KL Rahul's talent and skill. It's sometimes, again, we were talking about this in the pre-match show, that sometimes you need somebody to give you that magic word or making you believe. And also in a team environment, I've always been of this belief, maybe because I was a low-rung player in a side, so you always wanted to be a wanted player. I don't know what Polly feels as an established player of a side. Till the time I got to India, I was always the main, the big dog, one can say, in the teams that I played. But there were other big people, alpha males in the side when I went to. So you always were looking for that ratification, for that vindication from the better players. And every player wants to be wanted. And I suppose once you feel, you could be KL Rahul, you could be playing for India for a long time, but you want to go into a side where you're
the main man,
you are cherished for your performances. And I think that is something which maybe he is getting. And I always felt this, you can make a donkey feel like a horse and a horse feel like a donkey. Absolutely. So it's how what you wear. And that donkey does a lot of job. Donkey does more job than the horse, but the horse is the one which gets the accolades. So I suppose what he said just now, has KP played a role? Maybe as a mentor, because he was a freewheeling batter. Sometimes you just need to just go and press that pulse of KL. You know what? This is what you are.
Yes.
You are selling yourself short. Just go express yourself and see what happens. And we can see in those numbers. Again, I come back to what I said before. Nobody ever questioned KL Rahul's skills. When he bats like a dream.
Absolutely.
So you just want him to find that mentally sometimes. You are sometimes restraining your own self. And it's good to see KL Rahul bat the way his numbers forget the runs. The strike rate and the way he's batting with that freedom, as you said, has gone up leaps and bounds.
He may also have thought he had to play a certain way when you've got the bigger names around him. Now he probably just feels like I can be KL Rahul. And however I want to play, whether I want to be aggressive today or watchful or get my team over the line or solidify the innings, I can do that because that's what they want from me. They want me to take charge.
But also, you know, he has been that glue that's kind of keeping that team together. Delhi will want other batters to put their hands up as well because we see those numbers. He's miles ahead of everyone else. So Tristan Stubbs has come in and gotten those runs. Abhishek Porel has got those runs. He'll need more support though, getting deep into this tournament.
100%. And hopefully Faf can step up as well and do that job. But Stubbs, I mean, you're right. He's made contributions. He's had 7 innings, but he's been not out 4 times.
Yeah.
So
I remember the first game in Visakhapatnam when Vipraj and Ashutosh won it. But it was Tristan Stubbs and the combination which actually took them to a reasonable position. So he's played every game we have covered or seen. He's been making those contributions But
He
I
also
don't
hit those winning runs in that super over.
super over, super over, yeah.
And that six that he hit, and again, he gave credit to Rahul because Rahul was keeping him calm, he said, and he was giving him the guidance that was required.
And it all boils down to team atmosphere. We see how GT works.
Yes.
You ask anybody in the circuit and they'll say, oh, what a beautiful family atmosphere. And I think that is important for every one of us. Every one of us as players, you could be the best player in the world. All of us have fear of failure. Also, all of us have our own insecurities. And all of us want to do well. I don't think anybody walks out without wanting to do well. So whatever helps you in overcoming that, I think that's a great place to be. And I think maybe that's what Rahul is feeling.
And also with RCB, before the tournament started, you know, we know that they got a lot of things correct in the auction table, especially the seamers. There were discussion around how the spin department might not be the best, but the spin departments, Suyash and Krunal, have really surprised everyone, haven't they?
Yeah, I don't think they've surprised everyone. Everyone knew they had that ability. I think it's just the role that at the Chinnaswamy, everyone kind of thought, well, it doesn't matter how good a spinner, because they've had some good ones over the years. Besides Chahal, no one's really been able to stand up and dominate on a consistent basis and produce. So in many ways, they probably thought, well, let's not kind of go massive with regards to putting the focus and trying to get the attention on certain big-name spinners. But they were big players for Krunal Pandya. I mean, they wanted him.
Yes.
They talked about how much they felt. And because I think he's smart, I think he's got a plan. He doesn't bowl a certain way. He can kind of adjust his game. And he's experienced and he brings a good atmosphere, left-hander who whacks it a little bit in the middle. So Tasha, I think he's been the surprise at how well he's gone. What did he play? He played one season for KKR, didn't he? But he didn't get many games. And he's one of those guys who, when you first walk in and see him, it takes a while to work out, like, where's that ball coming from? How's it coming? What pace is it coming at? And I think that's what, it's almost like a first season for him, even though it is his second. And I think that's why he's been so good, because they've also looked after him, brought him in at good times.
But Kartik, specifically on Krunal, I know that I've loved all your master classes on spin, but what is it about him this season that's standing out for you?
Again, just his ability to adjust to situations. Look, he's not somebody who's afraid to change lines. He bowls the bouncer, as Paulie just said. He's not somebody who you can typecast as a certain type of a bowler. He'll suddenly come over the wicket, throw it wide outside the off stump, come around the wicket, fire into your legs, bowl slow, bowl quick. So he's got that ability, and he's also got that funny action where you don't know at what pace the ball is going to be released out of his hand. And he's a thinking cricketer. No, not that every time it goes well for you, but more often than not, he's always trying to be one step ahead of the batter, and that is what works for him. That is one of the reasons why, as Shaun mentioned, they were happy when you spoke to some of them around the scene, and some of them happened to be my friends. They said, we are very happy because we got him. He can be a floater. We can send him up top. We can send him down below if the need be to go and whack, and he's a good fielder, and he's a thinking cricketer. So that thinking cricketer aspect comes out when he bowls as well.
And again, going back to the atmosphere of a certain team, you spoke about GT and you spoke about how KL likes Delhi. With Krunal, when he was with LSG the last two seasons, combined, he's picked up 15 wickets. And this season all by itself, he's picked up 12 wickets. So again, that atmosphere helping Krunal, you think, Paulie?
Yeah, sometimes people also just need a change. You know, they can be in a certain setup and maybe they get pigeonholed into a certain line of thinking, and players want them to do a certain thing. And you get a fresh breath of air when you go to some other environment. And I think they've made him feel good about himself. They realised that they needed to, for him to be stepping up and performing. And he's probably just enjoying that atmosphere that they're in at the moment.
But surprising, isn't it, when we spoke about LSG and the Lucknow wicket last season, it took a while for those pitches to settle.
Yes.
Because they had to be relayed, and then at that point of time we were having lots of low scores and spinners were having a field day. But he's picked up more
wickets here. Surprising.
Yeah.
Never know what the atmosphere, the change brings about. But talking about things going well, not only for Krunal, things have gone very well for the Mumbai Indians because they have won by a massive 54 runs. Lucknow have gotten all out for 161. Ayush Badoni got 35. Mitch Marsh got 34. But Jasprit Bumrah, back after injury, picking up 4 wickets, gave away just 22 runs. And Mumbai, 5 wins on the trot. Wow.
Look, that's what certain teams can do. And again, it comes back to the quality of that side. You just look at the personnel that they have. One actually gets surprised that they are such perennial slow starters, and especially in this format, in this year as well. I can understand that you again bracket them as Mumbai are slow starters, but sometimes you look at sides and you feel no, they can't be slow starters. They can't be languishing where they are languishing, and it's good to see them. And that's why we said at the beginning of the show that them finding that kind of form at the right time of the season doesn't augur well for the other sides.
When you look at that side, as we said earlier, I mean, there's no surprise that they can win 5 on the bounce. Because you know massive contributions can come from anywhere. It's not like it's only going to come from 2 or 3, so no surprise. And I think they're probably to be the most feared team other than
Naman
GT.
Dheer can hit the ball. Deepak Chahar can hit the ball. Karan Sharma nearly won RCB a game against KKR when he took down mid-Stark only.
Yes.
So all of them can bat. So you think of their batting as well. The batting also is very deep. I think the only one who might not bat is Trent Bolt. Apart from that, everyone else bats.
But they obviously, most of the time, they're leaving him out now. He gets substituted out.
Well, I wanted to talk about this one very cool person, but I've been given instructions that we cannot cheat because we said that we are fair and square players. So we first do the predictions before talking about someone who helped Mumbai get to that 54-run win. So your predictions then for the second game.
My predictions for the second game.
Delhi batting first.
Delhi batting first. I'm going 2-1-0.
Pitch report says it's very, very dry.
That's fine.
I'm going to stick with my 187.
You are really, really pursuing that
13 runs short.
13 runs short.
13 runs short.
Yes. 187 to?
205.
That changed. 205, 187. I will
go with your gut feel because you've been very close to your gut feel both times and then you changed.
Times.
Yeah, you've
but
changed.
But it's just really tough with this Hazelwood and they're bowling well and
Yeah, anyone can have a bad day.
I'll go with 197.
We have praised Bangalore bowling and I'm still going for 205.
Yeah. It's just that small ground, I guess. It's just that small ground. But again, like I said, I couldn't have cheated, but I want to come back to this one person who's really helped Mumbai and he gave them that fiery start, but is a very cool character, Ryan Rickelton. He is the coolest performer of the match, powered by Voltas, Shor Kam Zyada. Polly, 58 of 32. And striking at 181. Just some clean hitting, and we can see why Mumbai have put their money on him because he's one special talent.
Yeah, they were talking about how hot it was going to be at the stadium. It was 38 or something, and he was cool from the start. He got them off to that good start. He just absolutely played normal, good shots. There was no slogging, or it was just really easy to set the tone, lay the foundation. And then obviously the strength of the middle order came in and did the rest. But he was calm throughout. It's good to see him get that kind of score because he's made good contributions, but maybe not enough big ones. But I just thought his performance was great.
And also, I'm very happy that at least teams will want to bat first now. Again, we were talking about this in the comm box. It's better to send 2 out there than 11 out there in that heat. 54 runs, that's a big margin in T20 cricket.
Yep.
And why wouldn't you do that? Even now, if somebody wants to look at stats are suggesting that bat first, get the runs, you're still winning the game.
Yes.
Especially as the tournament goes on, because the kind of surfaces will start to wear a little bit and then the spinners will come into their own. So.
Well, he really gave them that fiery start. He's got 273 runs this season. Kartik, you feel he is that like-for-like replacement to a Quinton de Kock or a Nishan Kishan?
Look, I was just interesting you asked this question because I was asking the wise man next to me about Ryan Rickelton. Obviously, he's taller than Quinton de Kock, and Quinton de Kock was a dynamic and a devastating player. But I somehow felt that as a spinner, I always used to think, where can you tie him down? So there was a part of him which developed later on when he started playing through the offside. But this man has got all the shots everywhere. I thought maybe Digvesh Rathi would trouble him, but after that first over, he got hold of him. So I feel he's a lot more at this stage of his life. If you ask me personally, a more rounded cricketer, rounded batter.
Oh, wow.
Is what I feel. I don't know. And I think he's got a great head on his shoulders is my belief.
I think you'll get more consistency from him, actually.
Yeah.
I think there's no doubt Quinton was a very flamboyant and fantastic player, scored kind of in awkward areas. But because of the nature of the way he plays, it was kind of wristy there. Rickleton's more straight down the ground, and therein comes the consistency. It's like if you're talking about someone like a KR Rahul, because of his technique, it's nice on the eye, and he can just back himself. So
And he hits it hard.
And obviously that left-handed. So I think he'll be more consistent. So that's really good signs for him.
Well, that's very, very high praise coming from both these wise men, which is why Ryan Rickleton was the coolest performer of the match. Powered by Voltas, Shore Kam Zyada. I want to just quickly have a look at that points table and see what's moved around on that points table there.
Oopsie! Yeah! He got this right. Paulie got this right.
Skyrocketed upstairs with that net run rate as well. That's a real huge jump. So now this game gets even more interesting because Delhi, Bengaluru will want to go to the top of the table. The winner of this game gets to the top of the table. So lots to play for with this game that is coming up. Once again, I don't think we can change them, but I just want to remind you all what our predictions were. 187. He stayed strong with 187. He's backed this number. 205 for Murali Kartik and 197 for me. We keep our fingers crossed.
These double-header games are killers, man.
They are. You really slip.
They don't help your stats
but
at all.
he's off the mark, off
Finally.
that zero.
Where's the scoreboard?
No, not now.
You don't want to see
At the
it
end
now.
of the day.
You don't want to see it now.
End of the day.
I just want to see a number instead
But
of naught.
I just want to tell everyone who's watching, we had a loud cheer for Paulie Kaka when he got off that mark, and there was a lot of celebration in the Cricbuzz studio. Don't think we have footage to show you all that, but there was a lot of celebration, and we hope that he gets another win. We will give you all the updates for the coming match at the 10 over point at the Cricbuzz Combox. Thank you so much for watching. Voltas presents Cricbuzz Live.
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Hyderabad Express, Rayabasi Station, Netaji Bhavan.